The elements of visual exploration of every known atom in the universe. And today we're doing, cute. Today we're doing elements 36 to number 40. Let's get this started with number 36 is KRYPTON. KRYPTON is one of the, famous elements in the entire world, mainly because of a alien huge superhero that was created by DC Comics. You know him, you love him, you love being like him. It's Ultraman! Haha, just kidding. It's actually Ultraman is a DC character. Surprising. It's Superman. Superman's apparent weakness is KRYPTON, and KRYPTON is real. It is a real thing. It's just that I'm pretty sure that it doesn't have any ill effects. The noble gases, like KRYPTON, are really bad at mixing with other gases. That's why it's really good when it's protecting something from the rest of the world, or letting something not go to the rest of the world, because it just won't react with it. It won't fuse with it. That's why you don't see any helium compounds, or KRYPTON compounds, or helium molecules, for that matter. In the case of KRYPTON, though, of protecting it from the rest of the world, it just boils down to higher efficiency light bulbs. The cheaper incandescent light bulbs are full of either argon or nitrogen, but the molecular weight of the glass and the whatever it's also inside, it's basically of KRYPTON, and it makes sure that the tungsten that's used to build the light bulb, it just stays where it is. It doesn't go outside, unless you crack it open, then you're doomed. And until LEDs were invented, when LEDs were found to be way more superior than regular incandescent light bulbs, we used KRYPTON light bulbs. And since then, we have done several other great achievements with the KRYPTON himself. Pure KRYPTON is an invisible gas, as most noble gases are, and there is a sample of ample from the days it was so expensive that it was represented as a substantial quantity of the gas. Today, it is purchased in the high-pressure cylinders containing vastly more. You know them as light bulbs. Its atomic weight is 83.798, its density is 0.00375, its atomic radius is 88 picometers, kind of small actually. Its crystal structure is a really straight cube, a very stable one as well too. It doesn't really have that much of balance in the atomic emission spectrum, and it has finally filled up 4p. You may have noticed I'm wearing like the same clothes from yesterday. Yes, I wear the same clothes in the morning and the night from before. Judge me if you want, but that's how I live. Oh yeah, and it's mostly found as a gas. That's why it's very very low when it comes to its boiling temperature and melting temperature as well too. In fact, you can hardly see the liquid here. Next up, we have rubidium. Rubidium itself, it's not related to rubies, unfortunately. Also, they both derived their name from the Latin word for red. You say there was no connection to rubies, eh? The red and the rubies, though, they come from chromium impurities. I should have mentioned that earlier. And rubidium just got its name because, well, it, like many other elements, it was just an unexplained line in a spectrum of flame emission spectrum, and it was red. So they called it rubidium. However, rubidium itself, it's not red at all. It's a soft, shiny metal. Unfortunately, though, there are only a few practical applications for things like rubidium. One of those is the atomic clocks. Yes, rubidium is also used in atomic clocks. Although they are not as accurate as the famous cesium atomic clocks, these still work pretty fine. But by any reasonable measure, like the one compared to my watch on this wristwatch right here, it is way much more accurate than it is. Mine probably off by a few seconds. Now, you might be saying atomic clocks, they sound very dangerous, but in actuality, they're just more like radios than atomic bombs. They are a very balanced cube, I will say. It has an atomic weight of 85.4678, its density is 1.532, its atomic radius is 265 picometers, well, that's a new record. And most of the time at high temperatures, you'll find it as gas. Sometimes you'll find it as a liquid, and most of the time you'll find it as a solid. Although, it has to be a really, really low temperature, which the Earth is really good at making. A strontium isotope, also known as strontium-90, it is a component of a nuclear fallout. It's basically the black sheep of the strontium family, and it's untainted. That's tainted by this element's reputation. Strontium itself, I've never heard of a strontium radioactive normite, though. Ordinary strontium, though, it's not radioactive. It's not radioactive at all, and should not be blamed for any of the consequences that strontium-90 has created. It's the black sheep, and you just leave it like that. This is a strontium. This is pure strontium metal, and it's slightly oxidized despite being stored under mineral oil, basically meaning that it's somehow slightly rusted, even though it's under a bunch of oil. That keeps it so. Strontium, and if you make a strontium and titanium alloy, you'll get strontium titanite, which will be used to create diamond simulants, because, well, when you can't find diamonds, you need a replacement. On one more note, so strontium-filled pills are actually sold as real vitamins. That's interesting. Its atomic weight is 87.62. Its density is 2.630. Its atomic radius is 219 picometers. Its crystal structure, it's a cube. That's still kind of big in my opinion. And it has a pretty varied amount of atomic emission spectrum, and has once again skipped a bunch of its electron filing order. And it has actually an averagely low melting temperature for a metal. It's solid most of the time, though. The Earth itself does not really overheat itself by 500 degrees. Next up, we have yttrium. Yttrium, it's famous for its laser. Pew, 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 pew. When yttrium lasers are used to attack the Earth, beta capsule. Pew, pew. The alien from M78 will come and save it all. Yeah, you should go watch that series. It's really fun in my opinion. Regardless though, do not call me a baby. Yttrium itself is something of a hippie element. It's named after a village in Sweden, so a very notably loose country. And secondly, it is beloved by New Age practitioners who feel like it aids in communication between the spiritual and the practical realms. Basically, they think it's a spirit. They think it's a portal towards the ghost world. If a ghost world even exists. Yeah. Well, one of the best applications of this thing is that you can use it to create lasers. Yttrium, barium, copper, oxide power. You can use it to create superconductors, and they're really good though. Yttrium is used to extend the life of spark plugs as well. That's really interesting. Here we have its atomic weight of 88.90585. Its density is 4.472. Its atomic radius, it's 212 picometers, and its crystal structure is a hexagonal prism, and it has a pretty high melting and boiling temperature too, pretty even in my opinion. It has an even atomic emission spectrum. It's starting to fill the 4D. That's all I have to say about it. And finally, we have zirconium. Zirconium is one of the interesting elements in my opinion, mainly because it's a tough and a very hard metal. And everything to do with it is tough and hard and abrasive. Cubes are made of these high-purity zirconium metals, and old Kodak cameras used to have elements like silver and zirconium inside instead of silicon because, well, they couldn't afford silicon back then. Ball bearings are made of small, hard, low-friction versions of zirconium themselves, and certain ceramic knives made of zirconia are incredibly sharp, but they chip really easily, too. Zirconium wool is also created too. Apparently, the author of this book has one inside his old single-use flash bulb. Now, really, people should stop thinking that cubic zirconia is as fake diamond and start thinking of diamonds as an overpriced cubic zirconia. They should probably think that diamonds are just overpriced cubic zirconias and that cubic zirconias are fake diamonds. They're both the same thing, except one's made of carbon and one can be made really easily with the same materials at a cheaper rate. Alright, I probably shouldn't have shouted. I just scared a bunch of neighbors. It has an atomic weight of 91.224, its density is 6.511, its atomic radius is 206 picometers, and its crystal structure is a hexagonal prism. It has a pretty high melting point, and a boiling point at that too. It has a pretty varied amount of atomic emission spectrums. It's starting to fill the 4D of electron filling order pretty fastly now. And that's all I have for today's episode. Done! So I hope to see you guys soon. Until next time, Sean Han out! Bye-bye!